Yes.
No. Downstairs. Why is it scrubbing down?
It's just gone 2 o'clock, so welcome everyone to our meeting. Technically, we're a new mayor, Tara. First time we've been here as the mayor. Welcome, I hope you enjoy your time.
Thank you.
Call for apologies. None. Good. There's no public forum. And this month there is no condolences. So I just, pardon?
That's a good thing.
You're a healthy lot this month. Good. Can I have someone please move that the minutes of the previous meeting are true and correct record, please? Harris, seconder. You can help. All those in favour? Aye. Against? Carried, thank you. Remind members of if they have an interest in anything being discussed, please say so before we discuss it. After we read the, it seems that we'll read the minutes. Janice. Gone away. So has everyone read about the proposed parcel road stopping? John Street, out here. The wee map on your page. Well done. Better than I could have done. Okay, the bits that they're going to stop. That becomes part of that section, doesn't it, Clint?
Yes.
Page 16 on your. That clip. Hey, Janet.
Good. Thank you. Good afternoon. So we've got a proposed partial road stopping for you to consider. It's a section directly out here. The applicant who owns this section wants to formalise the shape. At the moment, if you look on page 16, you'll see that the section from the applicant, it's the one in the yellow and black dotted lines, has got a very odd shape there because of the road. And so there's two parcels, parcel A and B, he would like to have stopped and amalgamated into his section. He has plans to develop his section, subdivide and put units on it, all going to plan. So the proposition or the proposal on the table is that it be allowed and then go through to council for ratification. Roding have said that they have got no objections to it. It still will leave a portion of road there because we've got services through there, so we do need to protect those. And those are the services that come out from the swimming pool, the Wallace Memorial Room. They come out the back and they go straight through to John Street.
Manhole.
Yes, there is a manhole. Yeah, and that's a cleaning eye. We've had to deal for that at times.
Major hassles at Janison.
No,
Affect anyone?
no.
To all the services. Right.
Our previous statutory officer started this investigation and she did quite a wide background search on parties that it may have affected, and none of them have had an objection to it.
So there's still this, the others out, but
Yep, and we would retain that. So you would retain, look on.
it's a square block.
Yeah. So you can see the on the picture on page 16, you can see his section that's now would become a rectangle, and then it still leaves the road portion between his property and the Wilson road rooms through the back of his property.
So option one, everyone read option one? You have not got your computer going.
Yeah. Geez, wait. Yeah, so,
Any questions about it? It's quite straightforward.
Would you like option one up on the screen?
I'll put it up, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. All fees will be paid by the applicant. And the cost of the two pieces will get a valuation for that. He will need to buy the applicant.
I'll do that.
Who seconded it? Becky Crawley. All those in favour? Aye. Against? Carried, thank you. So that's option one. Thank you, Janice. Wayne, meeting schedule. Sure, that's it.
Good everyone. So the report is read, and you'll see in the attachment the 2025 calendar for meetings. We've got a 6 weekly cycle, keeping with the weekly cycle proposed, and I'm not sure if it was last year or the year before. There was a question about when the AMP show was on to make sure it didn't clash. And I can confirm that it's the 12th of February, so it doesn't clash. That's the next day. As long as you're good to go the next day.
It's always, that could be the problem.
Oh, it's always a Wednesday. Yeah. I thought I've had that question before. I better just check to make sure there's so as long as you're
on the job.
as long as you're ready to go the next day, then we'll be fine.
Most of us will.
Somewhere. No, might not be able to.
Thanks, Stu.
You'll be fine.
Yeah.
There's plenty of meetings ahead, haven't there?
Yes, yep.
It's the purple ones.
You'll be all right, Stu. Gives you something to do.
Sure, your staff are very happy with their arrangements.
Yeah.
Good, my staff. Yes, yours. Council probably aren't so happy.
Your mother will be happy, your father will be happy, and your son will be happy. Even your wife will be happy. You started it, remember?
That looks wonderful, Wayne.
Yep. Everyone happy? Anything else? Can I have someone move that, please?
I'll do that.
Stuart Duncan, seconded Duncan Helm. All those in favour? Aye. Against? Carried, thank you.
Thanks.
Tama. All yours.
Wonderful. Lucky me. I'm now 5 days, a whole week into the best job in the district, and delighted to be attending my first Maniototo Community Board meeting in person, which is pretty cool. We have had obviously our recent survey coming up around trust and confidence in our councils and community boards, and while I acknowledge that this community board was by far and away leading the charge. We've still had a significant dip, and we now start the next conversations around delegations between council and community board. And there's challenges, and it's going to be a big piece of work over the next few months to make sure that everybody feels like they are engaged and have the most benefit out of these boards and feel like they can contribute in a meaningful way and maintain what's best for the people of Maniototo. Community boards keep the local in local government, and this is absolutely the starting point for those discussions. And you guys have absolutely raised some things that you'd like to hear more about in advance, which we will do our best to keep happening, keep coming, so that you're not taken by surprise, Rob, when you're in the morning tea,
Yes.
getting a coffee at the cafe.
Yep.
The next 12 months are going to be some of the most challenging in local government, especially as we begin the conversation with our communities about what local water done well means for them. There'll be a role for community boards in this as well, and a substantial amount of work is coming down the proverbial pipeline for all elected members, as questions will no doubt come thick and fast once we start talking to the public, and we all need to be across the information. So I'll make sure that as much as possible it's coming to you guys, that again, you're not taken by surprise in the coffee shop. And on that note, I would like to thank all of you for the work that you do for this community. It is not always recognised, celebrated, and occasionally not even appreciated, especially for Stu sometimes at the Wedderburn. They're a bit of a challenging environment, I know. Yeah, keeping you honest. You're advocating for your community, you're championing the people of Maniototo's best interests, and you are leading what is a growing community and making leaps and bounds into the future, especially out here with some of the things that are happening in your wide open spaces. It's pretty bloody exciting. So I really look forward to working with you all over the next 12 months. Thanks very much, Rob.
Thank you, Tana. Someone move that report. Duncan Howell, second it. Mark Harris, all those in favour? Aye, against? Carried. 9, haven't been too busy. I was actually on Sunday, I was at the Mount Nobler Memorial rededication where we gave them some money in a grant a couple or 3 years ago. So they reopened it. Mount Nobler was 133 years and 3 days ago. They did it on Sunday when they rededicated, when there was 2 boys and 2 guys killed right up on Mount Nobler in the snow when they're out rabbiting. 3 got killed in the avalanche and the young boy died of hypothermia in the snow. That was redone. There was about 50 people there. David Crutchley ran it really well. And Valerie Smith gave us a brief history of everything. It was really well done. It was, yeah. If you're ever out that way, it's the Kyburn. They call it the Kyburn St. Matthew's Danzy's Pass Cemetery. It's right in the middle. It's the biggest one there. So it's all been done. Lead, writing and everything. Back to original. Caught up at the Pony Club regarding the trees coming down around the Pony Club grounds. So we can discuss that with Gordon, weren't it? The rain event, everything was so everything's starting to get cleaned up. I see most of it's done. There'll be just the issues with culverts not being so much cleared or checked, making sure everything's going all right, but some rules that weren't working that well. I got a letter, I gave you a letter from Hillary Calvert. You all read that letter, I presume, so we can bring that up about the tennis courts, and had a meeting with her out there about the tennis courts in the Turi Hua, about being fixed. Christina Wells and the town signs coming into the towns, talking about putting up the rainfall signs. She hasn't got much further ahead. Pretty busy with hard stuff. I hadn't actually caught up with it this month. Duncan and I and Stu were up at looking at the boreholes of water on the road, the Renfrew Naseby back road. Yeah. We met with Patrick Keenan, EJaz and Lars, what was his last name, sorry, from Washington's doing holes. They're getting down to one of the holes was 47 metres, I think they're at when they finished, when they stopped. they're talking from, most of the water in there is from 60 to 100 metres down, wasn't it? Through the gravel. And we went up and looked at another site on the old road reserve of the Haysby Gimmerburn Road. We haven't heard back about anything, whether they're actually going to drill a hole or up there. It was divined, so. Keenan?
Julie, I feel about.
Julie, I
Yeah,
forgot
it's
to talk to
definitely
Julie about
pretty water
that.
up that lane.
Yep. So Paul Hart's been planting redwoods on the way into Naseby, and if you had, you know, they're well off the road. He's got 2 rows of them. They start about Dave Murray's there, out opposite Dave Murray's house. Dave Murray, and they're going right down to where they cleaned all those trees out. Stopped into that paper road, I think. Hollywood Road. Now, quite good. So he said, in 10 years' time, you'll be able to see them. Couple of years, Mike.
Let's do.
All right.
Got a couple of comments like that. It'll certainly be wonderful.
So the plant, I can't really cover it in plant, it's 2 rows. And he said in 10 years' time, they'll be about 3 metres high, 6 metres apart. We'll be able to cycle around the Becky, 10 years' time. And just a quick look around the town with nobody in particular, just gonna be looking at where all the South Roads did the work, the stormwater, the wastewater, and it's good to see none of the holes, none of the patches are sinking. It's good to see the compaction has worked.
1 minute.
Is there one?
Just noticed it the other day. It's not major yet.
Which one?
I think it'll be outside David Keenan's house. In that area somewhere.
Oh, nice.
Thomas Street.
It's worthwhile having a look just to see what it sinks like, but all the rest I've walked around and they look quite good. Some of them look higher than the original road. Right. So I was talking to a couple of guys at the rugby club about when it floods over the road in that grill, about whether or not they can dig through the bank and put a pipe in it. There is a pipe there. It's not worked very well. There's another thing is they're wondering if they can do it themselves. They actually just go and dig it and put a pipe in because it gets the water off the ground quicker. There's an old drain there, isn't there?
The drain sort of that up towards where that weather station is.
In the rugby ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is one there. It doesn't work, does not work very well.
Well, it was blocked previous time it had flooded.
Yeah. So that would, I was just talking to,
It's not right in the corner, it's on the actual playing field.
Yeah.
Out of the ground sort of thing.
I
So,
was talking to Worms about it, no wondering if they can just get in there and dig it, the pipe in. And,
Might be worth a look.
yeah.
Yeah, we can pick it up now.
yeah. Just after the regrass and done all that work and the water sits on it for
Yeah.
how many days. Simple. And that's about me. Any questions? I'll move that report be accepted. Those in favour? All right, yes. Members' reports. Let's go
Much for reporting. And look around with date when the floods are on and that's about all. Yep. One person not very happy with their house was virtually going under, well, it's going to come underwater. They looked through the pipe this morning, doesn't look to be anything wrong with the pipe. But there is a bit of work that could probably be done on the creek bottom to lower it a bit.
Yeah, on the top side.
Top side.
Did you have a look at, is that the one you looked at today? On Caulfield Street?
No, only
Where the,
the one that comes through.
Caulfield Street starts at Caulfield Street behind Launceston Place. Yeah, it just looks like there's.
yeah, and where the drain comes out of Launceston Place, it's sort of shot across the creek and pushed the dirt up on the bottom side. And there's just in front of that pipe and there's bloody tree or something in there, it could come out as well.
We were there for a while ago pumping it out, and I went back the next morning, and it hits that wall and rolls backwards.
That would have still,
And actually doesn't, and that doesn't even fill the pipe like 20 centimetres.
no,
It
but
doesn't hit the
it's
pipe.
down, it's down the side of the pipe, only be 44.
There's no restriction there, because I put my head in it too.
Oh, yeah, but I think there's a big, at the start of the Willer, because it's 900 mil pipe, and there was only, I think it was about 200, it was about 700 getting used.
Yeah.
Some,
I'm not sure, just a normal concrete abutment that's designed to take.
But more water in. Trouble is it comes in and hits that, coming in on the wrong angles, yeah.
And then it vortexes before it goes through the pipe.
When Dave and I went for our drive later on, where the water was coming over the main road, comes down into that paddock and hits that culvert we were talking about. Well, if all that water's got down there, he would have had water in the house. So it's not to clean that culvert. Let it dam up in the paddock, it's not doing any harm out there.
yeah.
That's about all I've been doing.
Oh, yeah.
No one's wrong about anything.
Giving you a number.
Hey,
I'll put them in the number. Becky, how you go?
Yeah, I've been pretty quiet too. Lately there's been too much on. I was questioned the other day about the toilets at Swindon and Naseby, if they could be opened earlier in the season, because I think usually they only open, correct me if I'm wrong, when the dam is full. But there's lots of people up there biking and stuff at the moment, so a few of the locals were questioning whether it could be open until the later weekend. Because generally the weather is warm enough and they shouldn't freeze, even though we did have snow. But yeah, that's just a question. Yeah, if they could be looked at being opened earlier, the centre area up there, like what has said about the trees. I don't know if has been in to look at the tracks, but maybe I should take a new window. Tracks looking really cool. The boys
I've got an e-bike.
you don't need an e-bike.
Bring my motorbike.
I spent heaps of time and money and effort in there with diggers and moving all the rubbish that's left there and recreating the tracks. So they're pretty well known up there for the tracks. Lots of people come to Naseby to get up on their bikes. So that's pretty awesome to see a group of volunteer locals up there working hard and making it pretty cool. The main street, like the garden's looking great. We've obviously got our little group of locals that are working hard there. I did notice today there is a dead tree out the front of the salon. So that is how many trees are there? Can't remember. Hawthorn. But it's yeah, she's dead. So I saw Sarah from Delta, she popped her head in and she said that she would look into that too, but I don't know. Swimming pool, exciting, we've got good staff on board this year and I know that they're all getting trained now, so it's awesome. They're pumped, ready to go. No water in the pool yet. Hoses on in the morning.
They just finished painting it, didn't they?
And just finished painting it, that one was out dry.
Oh, so it'll be cool to maybe get that done a bit quicker next year maybe and have it full with our beautiful hot sunny 25-degree days at the start of November. You could even get it open earlier. And I had the local protea, I saw her, Di Barton, and she wants to say thank you for the Styx Road. She said it's awesome at the moment, so she really appreciates that because she's up there 3 days a week or whatever, driving super speed. But she said the road's really good up there at the moment, so that's a nice positive instead of a complaint.
It is.
Yeah. And that's about me. Barbara.
Thank you, Becky.
Well, I haven't got much. Gary alluded to before, we sort of had a bit of a tiki tour around on the out of all that rain and floods. There's local FENS, local fire brigade, their new ute arrived Monday this week. It's going to be quite an asset to the area, especially if you've got to get some people to off-road or get them to somewhere a bit quicker than you can in the big red truck. But the only other thing I've got on the ambo side of things, we've got 2 new recruits getting trained up shortly. And there's a couple of older ones that are, hopefully by the end of the year, they'll be through their upskilling and come out as EMTs. Right. Be with the service a bit longer.
All right.
And that's about me.
Okay. That's discrimination.
Been putting your calls, no?
Bit of boom and bust sort of thing, usual. You might get 3 jobs in a day and then you might turn a wheel for a week. So it's just sort of weird times.
Thank you very much. Can I have someone move those reports, please? Oh, sorry, Lou, forgot about Lou, how unusual. I was thinking you did your own report. My apologies.
Right, big ticket, I've been quite busy actually with the council. The biggest ticket was Tamer. Great to have. Yes, unanimous decision, everyone wanted to support, so we've got a pretty good council at the moment, hope we can give it the support. Good luck, and it's going to be a bouncy road, I'm sure, the next wee while. Lots going on, we've got quite a few workshops, bit of water at risk, what happens, waters are going to be a big issue going forward for us all the time. Yeah, bridges have come up 2 or 3 times. One at Omakau, we've had a foundation's got a bit damaged. QP and I went out to Kyburn and told Scott's Lane Bridge residents that they're not getting a bridge. Took a good discussion, it was a good afternoon actually, just everyone had their say and they went away with some ideas, but at the moment that's not happening. Yeah, that weather event, that was quite weird. Sort of didn't expect it to come in the bottom of the South Island. I think the civil defence in Dunedin's only had one time Dunedin's a civil defence out for not many in the South Island in the history. But it did touch the corners in here and definitely in that top corner, and we got pulled out in the fire truck to a foreign van bus that drove from Dunedin straight into the water up to its front doors and had to be pulled out and transported by the police back to Middlemarch of Dunedin. So no matter how much work everyone does, there's still some people decide they want to take the law in themselves. I'm not sure they could understand the road signs, may have been their only excuse. But there was a lot of water around and some severe damage, especially in the top corner. Big ups to the contractors. They got on the job very, very quickly and did a pretty good job repairing all the roads that they could in the time they had. Yeah, Tamer touched on the customer survey or the ratepayer resident survey. It made it quite interesting reading, and a year ago I think this community board was 89% satisfaction with it, and the same with elected members, the same with the councillor, and that's dropped 20 or 30%. But we've done nothing differently other than we've tried harder and harder to get the wee things. I think probably the spelling of the Maniototo debate caused a bit of angst with the ratepayers, whichever way. It's might have reflected, but we're actually better than all the others in Central Otago. So there's a lot of angst, and they sort of council gets a lot of it aimed at it at times, regardless of its council's issues or not. And you know, so it was just one of those things. And when you look at the consistency of what people wanted the Maniototo last term and this term, they're exactly the same. And some of the other surveys have wanted different things, so they're pretty consistent around here. Had a ring from a resident the other day, which I've talked to QP about, is the Blackpool Road. People put in the GPS, and it's a all-weather, it's a dry weather track. The trucks are coming in, hitting the shortest route to the sticks, hitting the Blackpool on the GPS and getting stuck all the way through there. So it's just about, there is signage there, but whether they're too far in or it's just a concern. And that's one thing about technology, people end up in funny places. And that could also happen in weather events. You get a camper van going over the Danzies because it tells you the quickest route. On the real positives, the film crews, I think there's 40, 45 people up in Hills Creek at the moment, you know, doing a lot of work. So that's money in the community, and there's a lot of people staying in Naseby, and you know, it's been quite busy. They're travelling around, so it's interesting to have another movie again. One of the highlights for me has been the school sports, 100 years for the school sports, primary school sports in Ranford. They started at Turuhua Town, And it was brought, Trevor Beck brought to my attention, they talked about one of the Beckers, the first lot of sports in the early days could jump so far in the long jump, they had to shift the board back because he jumped out at the end of the long jump, but they never measured his jumps, which is a bit of a shame because they could have been records, so they shifted the board back and then none of the other kids could make it into the sand. So for 100 years there's been all those things, and there was a near record, I think it was a record equalled this year, but it's pretty cool because still as wee weaners and you take the ones that have gone on, and it was pretty cool with Tony Murray giving out the prizes because she was like that not very long ago, a wee while ago, and the kids love it, that they're pretty talented, just as much talent now as before. Yeah, and I haven't been talking to Harry at the Lions, but I'm pretty keen to try to get with Tony Neal with Lions, maybe think about setting up a men's shed. There's a lot of lonely old men just putting around with a bit of time on their hands, and I have been talking to David with Doc to see if we can get, which I think the Lions are trying to acquire those builders behind Becky's Salon there, or get hold of them. And I just think that, you know, a lot of other towns have got a men's shed, but a lot of those lonely old guys can just put it down and make something out of a pallet or just catch up. So that was the other thing I think would be good to have. And I just see that I did bring up David that the Wedderburn goods shed had been repainted and they'd taken the name Wedderburn off it. But I just noticed yesterday driving past has been put back on it. So my fears were when we gifted it to Doc, I wouldn't know what could happen to it. But no, pretty much that's it. We've got plenty going on in our camp at the council, and we'll keep you informed.
Thank you, Stu. Right, now can I have someone move those reports? Becky, and seconder please. Mark Harris, all those in favour? Aye, against? Very good. How can I forget about you, Stu? It's London, that. Right, status reports, Kim starting.
And the football.
You ready to go, is it?
Can you hear me? Do you want me to go?
Yeah, we can hear you, Gordy.
Yep. Hey, Gordy.
Good. I've got a longer list now than I was going to talk to, so I'll start where you wanted to start with rugby ground pipe, if you like.
Yep.
So, yeah, we're quite aware of that problem, and we are needing to talk through that with Three Waters, but we're not quite sure where it actually comes out. So there is a blockage there somewhere with it. So we're still working through that process.
That's a pipe draining the rugby ground out. It just drains out into the whole bed. Duncan will probably.
I don't know where it goes to,
It
but
just runs out onto the ground. But they
comes
were
backwards.
talking about whether they can just put one on themselves.
Oh, I can. Yeah, no problem. We can meet them on site and sort that out.
Yep.
Who's the contact there?
Logan Dowling, is it?
Logan Dowling.
Okay.
You've probably run into Logan before. Have you?
We'll chat to them and work out the process. So.
Most people have. Give me his number.
I'll get that later. Give it to QP. So just an update on the tree. So the Naseby Cemetery trees. Oh, so firstly, next week the rugby ground trees will come down, and then following that, the guys will go on to the Naseby Cemetery trees. And the issue, and with the trees around the pony club, I've put some budget for next year for more trees to be removed at Maniototo Park. So I've got 20k in that. So that could work for those trees. There's also trees in there, that tennis courts and stuff that need to come down as well. Rob was thinking that the pony club might want to take them down on their own, but we would need a pretty comprehensive safety plan for that, because felling trees is a high risk job, and they're probably likely to need traffic management as well, because the trees are within 2 tree lengths of a road. So there's a few things to think through that. What we're doing with the trees at the rugby club, we're felling them, and the rugby club are taking the timber away to sell. So they might want to do something like that.
Yeah, well, they were talking about getting the timber for fundraising.
Yeah.
There'll be a couple of people in that group that have got what they call foresters tickets that are legally allowed to cut down trees. Two of them, yeah, but they were quite happy for half of them to come out at this stage to sheds there, the sheds where they put the horses. And
So-
then, sorry,
Yeah, I was just going to say, well, get them to give me a contact and we can work out something. Contact me and we can work out something.
well, they'd think about leaving the ones in the corners, there for a bit of shelter, and the ones on Tyrone Street, is it? Tyrone
Yeah.
Street to stay. Not come down at all, even if they could get a top or something. They provide all the shelter easterly there.
Okay, yeah, we can work with them and see what we can sort out, if you like.
You want me to send you someone's phone number to talk to?
Yeah, that'd be great, thanks.
Sort that out. Yep.
And the other couple of things I was going to talk, I just wanted to make the board aware of. Sarah, have you got those pictures?
Yeah, I have. Not easy to see. Sorry. Sorry, what is?
All right.
So I guess while Sarah's doing that, we've had some further discussion with Tanya Murray and the group about some improvements that I'd like, but I just want to float these past the board because one of them I've had a couple of feedbacks aren't that keen, but I think what's required is probably what Tanya's seeking, but if we can see the pictures, that'd be great.
Sorry, Gordy, I can't share them with you, but this is the first one that you sent through. Which
There's the
Okay. Which one's that?
is the low hedge with the pathway
yeah.
through.
Hedge by the tea rooms, the back of the tea room to go through. So they want to take that out, and Tanya's got somebody who's going to donate some peony roses to replant there in the autumn. And this is the little bit, we've had a couple of feedbacks from that. A couple of people weren't too keen on that, but the hedge is, as you can see, it's not the top. It's a lowness or a hedge, so it takes a bit of maintenance 2 or 3 times a year, and we might be better without it. So I'm happy to have that removed and replaced with peony roses to brighten up the place. I don't know if there's any thoughts on that.
That's beside the old Centennial, isn't it?
Yeah,
Who's going to be looking, is that part of that Centennial lease or the Art Deco side?
no, yeah, I think it sits within the railway station bit. No objections to that?
Is it just that part of the hedge? Because that hedge goes all the way down on the other side of the footpath and around the back as well.
It's just the part down the path, just straight down to the back to the run trail.
So why do they want to remove it?
To brighten the area up, I think were her words, and yeah, provide a bit more colour.
Like just for a couple of months of the year, or you're talking?
There'll be a few other plants in there as well. It won't just be all peonies, but the main plants will be peonies.
Comments?
A pretty motivated group, aren't they?
Yep.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, someone's obviously, is there not part of their old Art Deco grounds? Isn't that part of it all?
Yeah, that's part of that, and I think the council maintain that now. I don't think there's a group that does that anymore.
Well, Becky,
Is it worth talking to the Art Deco group?
it's a main art. Talk to them first.
Okay. Yep.
They need to speak to Ruth because peony roses only,
They look good for about 2 weeks.
2 or 3 weeks, and when it gets warm, they just fall over.
They grow.
And
They grow.
Then you gotta cut them back. You gotta feed them.
Although we can get some.
Oh, it's a do. Go down to Hazard Shards as a.
Yeah.
Heat me on my driveway, you can help yourself.
Hey,
Heat me on my driveway, you can help yourself.
I just really probably want to talk to the Art Deco, if you someone.
Okay, if they're happy, you guys are happy?
Is anyone unhappy? Vicky?
What do you think, Gordy?
Sorry?
What do you think as a parks management part? Like, you know, you go from lawn where you mow it for X and, you know, if it loses its shape, all of a sudden who maintains it after that and resows it? It gets full of weeds and it becomes a nesting spot for dogs. I mean, like, is it just easy to have it in lawn? It's all very well having the momentum of having it bright and beautiful and bubbly for 2 weeks of the year. Are there other things that could create that image, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I think the hedges probably past its use by date anyway, and hedges are expensive to maintain, and you've got to cut them a couple of times a year and keep them up. So you can, yeah, I think some sort of garden there would be useful, particularly with perhaps bigger plants that sort of acted as a more informed hedge, stop people just cutting through there.
I'd just be talking to the Art Deco first and see what they
Yeah.
think. They've been looking after the area for a long time.
During freelance, okay.
Yeah, I don't know what's up to that. You
Okay,
work
I'll
well
do
talking
that.
before you do anything and,
Because the group, Tanya and the group have got quite a lot of momentum.
yeah,
They're pretty passionate about a lot of change. It doesn't have to happen all at once.
no.
Yeah, there's a couple of other ones related, so I'm not sure what the next picture is.
Just showing the next picture now, which is on the intersection.
Street.
Which one is that?
Henry Lane.
Main, sorry.
Sorry, what one's that, Sarah?
It's the second image that you sent me, the one with the road intersection.
So where you can't see the other side of the intersection to the trees.
Oh, sorry, yeah. So suggesting we take those trees out at the end of Lions Park, which I think is probably a good idea, and plant something further back so you can see down the intersection better. Yeah, so that's what I just wanted, because there's quite a lot of rubbishy trees in there when you actually go and have a look.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't, when they're topping the bloody things, why they didn't just keep going.
So that one's good. And the last one is
Just sorry, that one there, I presume you've talked to the Lions about it,
yeah, we will do, yeah.
make sure that everyone knows what's happening.
And the last one is the next to the gun reserve. So Tanya was interested in putting up a boundary fence. You can see the boundary, some of those cars are sort of a bit over the boundary. Her view was to screen the cars from the park or plant a hedge or something there. Not too sure we really need to be. And so the boundary fence clearly pay half, but I'm not quite, we could try that with that owner. Not sure how it would go, but
So, sorry, what's she talking about?
so like a fence or a hedge put in there so they can't see the cars.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, we've tried talking to him before about everything.
Listen up.
So yes,
We don't really have a lot of budget for a fence there, and I'm not quite sure I want another hedge when I'm perhaps taking one out.
yeah, go get some penny roses, but
Yeah, there's a whole lot of penny roses at the back of that reserve, which you probably know.
It's radio festivals.
she's joking. Remember, there's a camera on, shoot.
Something is going to be obligated to clear up the section.
No,
I haven't much
No,
of that.
they can't.
Really?
and all you can do is if he's operating, you'll clarify that, won't you? Operating out
I
of,
can come back and provide clarification. I know Louise has spoken to it previously.
Yes.
Around very limited things.
because he's got a commercial property or something in there.
Yes.
Is that right?
Commercially zoned, yeah.
Yes, yeah, so there's very little you can do, that's the problem.
If we had budget for a fence, that we could do that, but it would only stop that from that side, so
We'll just probably have to put that on the background.
Or if you want some money, put the fence on.
Maybe I'll try and see if you'll go house on a fence and see how that ends up.
Up his side.
Yeah, on the boundary. You'll have to shift a couple of cars.
Yeah, we'll tell them to shift the cars anyway off.
Yeah, that's my
his
intention.
property. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's very hard to deal with.
Yes.
Yeah, that's probably going on more by then.
If we'd stick it with the parking brakes, then it works.
Straight.
Straight away. Just took a chance there.
Yep. A few stores.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Turuhua tennis courts, we didn't talk about that, did we?
No. Did you get a copy of that letter?
Yeah, so just for your information, we have 6K in the budget this current financial year to do patch up jobs on that tennis court on the reserve. And I'm not quite sure we would want to be funding something else on someone else's land. Across the road as suggested, but we can put pickleball lines on the tennis court if we wanted to in a different colour. If that was what was, if there was a strong pickleball club out there to Turuhua.
Yeah, I had a meeting with Hillary about it and spoke to her, and I explained to her about council putting money into other people's properties. It's not an easy process, and that reselling at the Naysville one was priced at about 200,000. I said, so they won't have 200,000 to resell your Turuhua court that doesn't get used more than twice a year. I'll bring it here and see how much money you had. I mean, $6,000 isn't going to do a lot of patching, is it?
No, but I don't know if it's not, well, to be fair, I don't think it's used as much as the Naseby one.
No, it's not.
So I'm not sure how much investment you want to make in that, on that level. We're currently doing a tennis court condition survey across the district because there's lots of them, and some are much better than others and some are used much more than others. So we don't quite have that data with us yet, but there's nothing in the long-term plan for resealing this tennis court. That there is $6,000 now, and I think a couple of grand in a couple of years' time, just to keep on top of the maintenance. There's not a lot wrong with it, I don't think, for what the user gets.
I wouldn't have a look, and it's just starting to break up the surface a wee bit because in a few places. But $6,000 won't go far into.
So 2 courts there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Two courts.
Yeah.
They probably get used a lot more than that for 8 to 10 weeks a year, and it's probably only 8 to 10 weeks a year, but will get used a lot more.
It was discussed at the last community board community meeting. I can't quite remember the outcome. It's sometimes on the notebook.
There's a Turuhua tennis, Wedderburn Tennis Club, but they were talking about just spending their money, but they've got a bunch of sports club down there, may look at doing it.
And the board can put money aside if, like you're talking about your budgets a bit later on. So if you review of putting some money into reseal that in the long-term plan, that's the board's prerogative. But I'll start to put nothing in at this stage.
Yeah. Well, we've got plenty of, like I said to Hillary, there's other things in front, like school turf, Naseby, you've got this, there are 2 of them. Yeah, tennis courts that get fixed up as well. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll leave that one.
Yeah. We'll just have to work on that one.
Please, were they going to pull down one of the tennis courts down here? But some
Like the ones around, you're going to pull the ones around the back of the tennis courts at the Maniototo Park where Gordon?
The trees.
Yeah, the Maniototo, at the park, you explain, Arson.
the pine trees on the east side or the poplars on the road side?
Tennis courts at Maniototo Park.
Yeah, well, I put 20 grand aside next year in the next year's budget for trees at Maniototo Park, as I was saying earlier. So we'll either do the ones around the tennis court, or we could do the pony club ones. Or if the pony club are doing them, that means we'll probably be able to do both those tennis court jobs, because they're not helping the tennis court at all, either of those rows of trees.
Project.
Anything else for Gordon? You want to ask any questions? Anything else?
Good things from my point of view.
Right, thank you, Gordon.
Thank you.
Who's next? Oh, sorry. Did everyone read the status reports? No, I got them. Yeah.
Work.
Remove reports received.
Everyone happy? Stu Duncan has moved that the status reports be received. Seconder, please. Mark Harris. All those in favour? Aye. Against? Carried, thank you. Right, so the date of that next meeting is the Thursday, the 12th of December.
For the following read come.
Which one? Well, thank you everyone for your attendance today.
I won't be here on the 12th.
I hope you don't expect me to remember that.
I'm just saying that so you can get yourself organised, because don't probably won't be here either, so you'll need the rest of you.
Very good, thank you.
We're touring.
Me and Doug.
No, it was about 12 truckloads going.
Me and Harry.
Yep, so it's going to be academy roads when we get back.